Well, welcome to the call. Welcome to our Breakfast Club call. Today is Thursday, April the 6th, 2023. We are in quarter 2 of the year. Congratulations to each and every single one of you that made it, right? Congratulations on everything you achieved, everything you have to overcome in quarter 1. I started the call earlier this week, and I was just like, listen, forgive yourself if you're not where you want to be at, not only in your business and life, right? But forgive yourself for quarter 1, and let's have some fun in quarter 2, and let's make up for everything we didn't do and more. So let's get started. Welcome to the call. My name is Pam Pacheco, and I have the absolute honor, pleasure, and privilege of being your host today. And I am excited for each and every single one of you guys that are joining on here, whether it is your first time or you are returning back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I remember when I first started entrepreneurship, I was looking forward to these type of calls. Not only was I looking forward towards the mentorship and the information I was going to receive, but I was looking forward to the inspiration, because I know that how you start your day sets the tone for your day. Greatness in is greatness out. Garbage in is garbage out. So shout out to each and every single one of you guys that are logging on. I know we have people on that are in Washington, that it's like 3 o'clock in the morning over there. Absolutely insane, but thank you guys so much. We do this for each and every single one of you. And I'm excited because just like, I'm giving you guys information and inspiration and knowledge, this also fills my cup, and I'm just grateful for each and every single one of you guys. So last week, if you were on, we spoke about Sinaloa, right? We spoke about safety in numbers and law of averages. And we also spoke about the mindset for more. This week's call, we are a little bit over a week for our next SRT, our next secret regional training event taking place in a city near you. If you have not registered, make sure you are registered, secretdirectevents.com. Okay, April 15th, it is going down in a city near you. Make sure you are registered. So today, what we're going to talk about is expectations and network marketing. So we're going to talk about expectations, and we're going to talk about the characteristics, 5 great characteristics of an influential leader. So when we talk about expectations, there's 3 elements for expectation. And if you're taking notes, you may want to write this down. Number 1, believe for more. Believe for more is an element of expectation. Number 2, putting in the work is an element for expectation. And number 3, fighting frustration. And maybe you're like, well, how and why and how does that correlate to the industry of network marketing? So let's get into it. Believing for more. It's basically saying that your current circumstances pale in comparison to your future destination. So if we talk about the 5 characteristics of a top influential leader, right? One of them is having a big vision and the ability to communicate that vision. See, because when leaders get strong at being able to share that vision, and they get great at that, communicating that vision, people will join your team, people will join your business for your vision more than the comp plan, more than the products, more than the leadership, more than the company, more than anything else, because they bought into your vision. So I ask you today, are you sharing that vision? See, because when you're believing for more, you understand that, man, you're going to go through the calls, you're going to go through the rejection, you're going to go through the no-shows, you're going to go through the people that, make you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning because they're like, yes, we're going to be there at 7 o'clock, and you show up and they're not there. Has that ever happened to you? But what happens is that you believe for more. You have that certain element of expectation and you believe for more. And we know expectation is the breeding ground for miracles. So believing for more is knowing what vision you have for your future, because when motivation can no longer push you, that vision for your future, that vision for your life, it's what's going to pull you. So your current circumstances, again, they pale in comparison to your future destination. And here are 5 great characteristics of a top influential leader. Number 1, independence, right? Number 2, great problem solvers. Number 3, consistent. Number 4, again, big vision. Number 5, leaders create actions and results. So if we're talking about the elements of expectation and saying, okay, well, your current circumstances pale in comparison to your future, are you going to continue to push through until? Are you going to continue to believe for more, even when presently your business doesn't look like you want it, your back office doesn't look like you want it, the billboard charts don't look like you want it, right? Can somebody relate to that? So it's knowing that where you're at, it doesn't determine where you're going, but it's also having the expectation because you're saying, hey, everything I do today matters. So when we move into the next element of expectation, which is putting in the work, listen, faith without works is dead. And you guys know I'm a very faithful woman, but faith is not a fantasy land. Faith is problem solving, right? Faith is problem solving. And it's like, you're like, okay, well, what exactly does that mean? Well, again, the characteristics of a leader is, are you resourceful? Are you great problem solvers, right? Because see, leaders take responsibility that to solve things, because have you ever heard the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck, right? But it's knowing that you are actually doing what you said you were going to do until. What does that until look like? I don't know. I don't know what that until looks like for you. It may look differently for each and every single person. But if you're talking about, okay, putting in the work, see, leaders get really great at doing these three things. And some people call it different things, but it's really planning, doing, and reviewing. So you make a plan, right? Make a plan. What does that look like? Maybe you're just planning on winning the day. Maybe you're just planning on winning the week. Maybe you're just planning on winning the, right? But you're saying, okay, I'm going to make a plan. Maybe this is just a plan of your calls for the day. Maybe this is a plan for how is it going to look when you go show your prospect? How does that presentation look? How does that interaction look? What does that conversation look like? Are you making a plan? So when you make the plan, then you got to do the plan, right? You actually got to do what you said you were going to do. Because if you're planning, doing, and reviewing, when you make a plan, you do the plan, now you review the results. So what did we do well? What did we do not so well? Like, where's there room for improvement? Like, what do we need to improve on? Because the way through is through, and learning, then we make a better plan. Then when we review that plan, you can become great at that skill. So a lot of it too is, it's not only, here it's inviting, right? You got to get really, really good at inviting. If you could get really, really good at inviting, you can make a lot of money. You can leverage people's time, right? Because if you can get really, really good at inviting, that helps you in your business, right? If you can get really good at inviting people to the events, if you can get really good at inviting people to the presentation, if you can get really good at inviting people to the big shot. What is another skill, right? We share. Can you get what does that plan look like for you in sharing? Is that a skill that you want to master? And I will tell you this, do not get so caught up in mastering the skill of presenting that you stop inviting. Because being in phase 1 is, as a leader, is saying, hey, I got to put people in the system. Hey, I have to know that if I am going, the only way through is through. But if I am inviting and I am sharing the information and I'm presenting, maybe that's not a strong skill set as of yet, and that's okay. We have videos that share the information, and the majority of you know, if you work with me, I love to do live presentations because I want you to feel my energy each and every single step of the way. However, I also know that alternatively, I push play sometimes on people. Why? Because especially people that I know that aren't outspoken, or they really don't like to be the person presenting all the time. Why? Because I want them to know there's so many ways to build this business, and you can do it however you feel that it best fits for you. What is another skill that we have to do over and over again? Promoting events. We have the SRT Secret Regional Training event coming up April 15th. Now, if you can get really good at promoting the events, and this is not only training, but also promoting the big shots, also promoting the travel parties, also promoting the secret social, also promoting the demo parties, right, Lisa? Also promoting your products, also promoting your leadership, also promoting your leaders, also promoting your business. Okay, you can get really, really good at promoting. That is a skill set. Okay, that is a skill set that is going to help you. Because again, if you're planning, doing, and reviewing, you're like, okay, well, I have a plan to promote. And it's trial and error, right? So you're like, okay, well, this didn't work so much. Well, maybe I need to switch up my language. Maybe I need to go talk to one of my leaders, one of my uplines, one of my business partners. And it doesn't even need to be, and this is, again, here's a really good point, right? Here's a really good tip more than anything. A lot of times you can get advice from people that are not your leaders. See, I had relationships with my upline before they became my upline, because I have been very big on relationships my entire life. So from the banking industry, I learned that there's somebody winning and I want to win too. Maybe I can learn from them. See, I'm humble enough to know that if I knew everything I needed to know, I'll be already where I needed to go. So I love when people are like, oh my goodness, you're so great. I wasn't always that way. I was not always that way. Don't sign up for that class. Don't sign up for that class. And I'm improving every single day. I'm working on those skill sets every single day, because none of us are perfect. I don't close every person that I sit down with, right? But again, it's planning, doing, and reviewing. Are you putting in the work? Do you know that, okay, if I'm inviting, if I'm promoting, if I am making sure people are getting to the training, if I am, because at the end of the day, it's inviting, right? It's sharing that we do, presenting, however you present it, whether it's a video, whether it's a presentation, whether it's a demo, okay, a product demo, and it's enrolling because we got to put them in the system, okay? And then it's educating them. It's teaching them the skill sets. Okay, let me teach you how to invite. Because if you can master that skill set, it's doing it over and over and over again, right? We call that the system of IC: inviting, sharing, educating, and enrolling. And you do that over and over and over again. So if you apply the plan, do, and review to everything you do, you're going to master those skill sets a lot faster than you could imagine. And I will tell you, and it goes back to you, when you're putting in the work, right? And you are saying, okay, well, maybe this is not working. Has anybody felt like that? And you're like, man, I've been doing this way, Pam, and I thought it was going to be working, and I thought it was going to work this way, but it didn't quite go as planned. Has that happened to anybody before? Type of one in the chat, and you felt like you mastered that skill. You felt like you did really, really well in that skill. Yes, Denise, I know you're not the only one. Make sure you guys are sending it to all panelists and attendees, okay? Because guys, we talk about this all the time, being committed to CANI, constant, never ending improvement. And when we are committed to that in every aspect of our life, we're going to see things flourish. And I'm going to tell you, right? Not when you're talking about, you know, expectation, and you're talking about the elements of expectation, and you're talking about the attributes of a leader. See, one of those is consistency, right? It's consistency, because leaders got to be dependable, and great leaders show up consistently. And not only do you show up consistently, there's a baseline of activity, and that baseline does not move. And it's interesting enough, because I was hearing Eric Worre the other day, and if you guys don't know Eric Worre, right, GoPro, he is one of the GOATs when it comes to network marketing. And I was listening to him, he was just like, yeah, there's a baseline of work that you do every single day. So like my baseline every single day is at least 3 a day. So I know if I want to have a really great day, if I want to do a little bit more, it's 5, it's 7 a day. But I also understand that I do this on a part-time basis, okay? So what's your baseline? Maybe your baseline is 1 a day. Maybe your baseline is 2. Maybe your baseline is just sending out 10 messages. Maybe your baseline is 1 every other day. But it's interesting, because he's like, even when you're on a cruise, and I'm like, I don't know about that, Eric. I don't know if I'm gonna be consistent when I'm on a cruise, but you know what? Great leaders are dependable. They're consistent, because even when you're on a cruise, you could say, oh, it's interrupting for my family. Not really. You could check in for an hour while your family is sleeping, right? While they're doing an activity that you don't really care to do. Did you know that on average, fun fact for the day, a person, they gain a pound a day while they're on a cruise, because you do so much eating. So I think we could not gain a pound a day by actually working our business, even if it's a little bit here, a little bit there. See, you know what that baseline looks like for you, but remember that leaders are consistently consistent. There's a baseline that you have. Find that baseline for you. So every day, my baseline is, if I know I want to get in front of 3 people, I'm sending out 20 messages. And that's a combination of messages and phone calls. Okay. So I know I have to have at least 20 people that I'm reaching out so that I can know for a fact I'm going to show 3 that day. So let's say that the day before I only showed 2 because for whatever reason, one person had to reschedule or that person didn't show out. Well, the next day I know that I got to do 4. I got to do 4 to make up because I have a certain baseline that I cannot. And it's like 3 a day keeps the vacation and the residuals coming your day. Right? That's just the fact. So moving right along. So the next element, the last element of expectation is fighting frustration. Has anybody ever been frustrated in fighting their business, in building the business? Have you ever been frustrated in life? Have you ever been frustrated in anything? Yes, 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 yes. Let's be real here. Yes, yes, yes. But yes, Vicky, right? Yeah, I feel you on that. But the reality is that your ability to manage frustration directly correlates to your capacity to receive the revelation, your capacity to achieve the results that you want. Because when we talk about the world as we know it, it's interesting because today's Forbes article was titled, "The economy is unwell." The economy is unwell. See, the world is changing as we know it. National average gas prices reached a 5-month high on Wednesday, surpassing 3.5 per gallon for the first time since November. Private employees have added 100,000 fewer jobs than expected. Okay. And I will tell you this, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Silicon Valley is not going to be the only casualty on the Fed's rapid rate hikes. I'll tell you that. See, for the people who don't recognize the fact, it will be the worst of times. For the people who do, like us, it will be the best of times. We're going through the biggest shift in any of our lifetimes. For centuries, companies have paid people by the hour, by the week, or by the year. That's changing on a global level because the world as we know it is moving towards a performance economy. And here's what that means. In the future, you're going to get paid for performance. You're not going to get paid for your time here. And it's a better model, if we're being honest, for companies, right? Especially brick and mortar companies. And let's be real, is technology and artificial intelligence eliminating jobs every single day? Absolutely. So why am I sharing this with you? Because the best way that I know to survive these changes is network marketing. And when you're talking about being ahead of the curve, baby, everything you do today matters. Every call, every presentation, every message, every promotion, every invite, every share, every demo, everything you do today matters. Because there's important products and services in the world today that need to be promoted, right? To the people who need them. And if we're really, really being serious here, companies, they can provide all of the corporate support and pay distributors on a purely performance basis to promote their products. But why would I go promote anybody else's product when I can do what I'm doing right here and build a residual and build a legacy and have fun, right? And be connected to our community and be involved. And when we're talking about entrepreneurial minded people, they can receive all of the benefits of a traditional business ownership without the typical risk. And this is why these people who embrace this get paid big money, because companies, they're going to pay unlimited amounts to those people who can help blind people see, who can educate the ignorant, and who can build a company of like-minded individuals. And that's why network marketing, even though it's not perfect, it's better every single day. Because if we're talking about, again, attributes, characteristics of a leader, let's go back to it. One of them is you saying, okay, you know what? I'm gonna fight the frustration. Well, I know that a leader has to be independent. So you're not needy. Can you build your business without anyone? And I will tell you that this morning I had a 7 a.m. presentation before the Breakfast Club call. And I know that's insane. Remember last time we talked about getting ready to go on a run, we spoke about having a testimonial list. And I will tell you, I made the mistake of when the person told me, yes, I'll be available for that testimony, okay, that not to confirm another backup just in case, okay? And I will tell you that, and not for a second did I blink, not for a second did that put any fear or trepidation in my heart, because I said I knew one thing, what I have my hands on, whether you need to see it right now and you're gonna get in right now, you're gonna come back later. And that's why it's so important for you to know where you're fighting frustration. And sometimes you're going to have to build this business independent. Sometimes you're going to know that you can build this business with or without anyone. Yes, do we want support? Absolutely. But leaders know, influential leaders know that, hey, I can do this. I remember one time when I first got into the industry of network marketing and I decided to take it serious, and this year will actually make a decade, right? And I remember one of my upline telling me, such and such don't call for 3-ways. And I was looking at her like, that was like the equivalent of the top rank. So somebody saying like Crown Royales don't call for 3-ways. And even though I am very, very mindful of, I always have a 3-way on standby because I know facts tell and stories sell. I also know that I can do this with or without anyone. I would want to do it with someone, but I don't need to do it with anyone because it's a choice. And I also understand this is my business. This is your business. So one of the ways that you fighting, and I had to fight through that frustration today. I'm not going to tell you that it wasn't like a little bit frustrating. Absolutely. But again, I'm fighting through that frustration because I know that the characteristics of an influential leader is independence. Again, it's great problem solvers. You take responsibility. You grab that problem and you solve it. I said, okay, no problem, cool. Don't worry, I'll connect you with this person. Hey, this person said they're going to get started tomorrow when they get paid. If they get started, awesome. If they don't, that's great too. But it's knowing that leaders create action and results. That's another characteristic. It's knowing leaders create action and results, and our ability to fight through this frustration, our ability to know that we're putting in the work, our ability to believe for more. Yes, Jordan, I love that. Turn frustration into fascination. Jim Rohn, my Uncle Jimmy, always with the gems, right? But it's knowing the best is yet to come. So I ask you, each and every single day in your business, how are you treating it? How are you treating it when you're picking up the phone and you have to invite? How are you treating it when people don't show up? How are you treating it when you are the only one at the coffee shop and your prospect is not there? How are you treating it when you invited somebody to training and you paid for their ticket and they're still not there? Are you able to say, okay, cool, no problem. Let me make some calls and get somebody here by lunchtime? It's what your mindset is. It's what that vision is, because again, remember, the big vision and the ability to communicate that vision is one of the greatest characteristics of a top influential leader. So if we're knowing, okay, no matter what my expectations are, in network marketing, these characteristics, I always have to keep them in mind, because leaders create actions and results. Leaders create actions and results. Yes, Faith, lemon into lemonades each and every single time. But leaders are consistent. They have a big vision and the ability to communicate that vision. They're great problem solvers. Are you resourceful? Are you resourceful? Like a lot of people ask, like, where the name Pam the Plug came from, because I am the most resourceful person you will ever meet. And if I don't have it for you, I know somebody that does. I own that, right? So it's knowing what you have your hands on. Again, believing for more. Your current circumstances pale in comparison to your future destination. Putting in the work. Faith is not a fantasy land. Faith is problem solving, right? Faith is action-based. You plan, you do, you review, you make a plan, you do the plan, you review the results each and every single time, because leaders are consistent and there has to be a baseline of that consistency each and every single time. And again, fighting the frustration, because here's 4 things, right, that we do very well. And again, our platform is inviting, sharing, enrolling, and educating Now, when we're talking about network marketing, it's also, we got to get really good at selling. Either you're selling yourself or you're selling what you're talking about. It's recruiting. It's having that mindset of, again, you're in phase one, duplication. And how do you get that duplication? Inviting them to the events, fighting through the frustration and getting them to training, fighting through the frustration and getting them on the fast start, fighting through the frustration, right? Believing for more. And are you leading? That's the fourth one, because are you leading? And we spoke about the state of the economy. We spoke about why network marketing, again, it's not necessarily that it's not perfect, but it's definitely better than everything going on in the world right now, right? It's the most consistent source. It's the most consistent way for you to build a legacy. Like, I don't know of a better value offering than what we have our hands on right now. So if you're thinking of, okay, how can I incorporate all of this, Pam, into my business? How can I incorporate all of this into my life? If you know that you have enough people to register for training, type a 1 in the chat. If you feel like you have enough people registered for the next SRT, April 15th. I know I don't. I know a lot of my calls every single day are also getting people to the training, because I understand what these events do for people, for the belief, for the stories, okay, for the impact in people's lives. Guys, people want freedom. People just want to be free. And so many people we know, they are fighting quiet lives of desperation each and every single day. And they are not saying anything to anyone, because it's always something. It's something different on the news, right? I mean, we're not going to play the politics game, because we don't talk about that here, okay? But we spoke about the craziness, right? It's like we're probably even about to go to war. Like, it's crazy right now. And leaders are those that are able to bring certainty to an environment where there isn't any. So if you're the person that's like, well, I want to believe for more. Are you believing for more in your business? Are you believing for more in these products? Are you believing for more in your capabilities, in your ability? Because if you understand that, then you know, okay, I'm going to work on being resourceful. I'm going to work on being independent in my business. I'm going to work on being consistent, because I know that's what's going to make me dependable to my team. I'm going to work on that big vision and the ability to communicate that vision in a very, very big way. I'm going to work on creating actions and results, because I believe for more. And I know that my current circumstance pales in comparison to my future destination. Are you putting in the work? Are you putting in the work every single day? Are you putting in the work, whether it's you making calls, whether it's you working on your mindset? Because let's be real, we talk about this all the time. Your mindset is where your mind sits. Are you putting in the work on a daily basis to fight through that frustration sometimes, to be able to put in the work, to be able to believe for more? We gotta clean our mindset. We gotta brainwash ourselves into believing. And if you spend enough time around me, you will be brainwashed into believing in yourself. And if you have any doubt about it, try me. Like, if you lack belief, if you lack any of that, take my belief, borrow it when you need to talk to people, borrow it when you're doing demos, borrow it when you're networking, borrow it when you're sharing the deal with people. Because again, you putting in the work is amazing, right? But you also have to, as you're putting in the work, are you communicating that vision? Because that vision is what people are going to buy into. You see massive leaders, and I can go back 8-10 years ago. What first inspired me were the stories, were the vision. See, because it wasn't so much the vision of what the company, it wasn't so much the vision of the products. It wasn't so much the vision of the membership. It was the vision of the legacy. It was the vision of freedom. It was the vision of impact. It was the vision of fun. It was the vision that was like, man, I'd be tired. I've been working 70, 80 hours a week at this bank. Only time I traveled was to DR, and it cost me way more than $300 to sleep on my grandmother's couch. Because if you know, anytime you're going out to the countryside, you got to take a luggage that's not even yours, right? Full of stuff. But I was like, it was the vision of that. It was that vision that drove me. It It was that vision that kept me persisting and persevering and just continuously doing what I said I was going to do. Are you sharing that vision with people? Are you communicating the vision of what your life looks like, of what you want it to look like, of what this can do for people's lives? Because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care about them. Right? A lot of people are like, oh, people don't know how much you care until they know, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. No, I like to add about them. Are you including them in your vision? Are you know, when you ask somebody, when you're sitting with somebody, what's the vision for your future? What's the vision for your life? Because the more you know about someone, you can utilize that as pain points, right? Those pain points, you can utilize it as leverage. You can utilize it to build your business. You can utilize it to cast vision, but are you casting a vision big enough that includes them in it? Are you casting a vision big enough that is mindful of their dreams, that is mindful of what they want to do in life, that is mindful of where they want to go, that is mindful of getting them free, that is mindful of having fun, of if it's mindful of their legacy, if it's mindful of their health, if it's mindful of their well-being? How are you communicating that vision for not only your business, but for them, for your prospect, right? So each and every single day we get better. And these are things that are not only going to help you get better in business, but they're going to help you get better in life. Excuse me. Yes, Verda, borrow my belief. Think, what would Pam do? Absolutely. Anytime. And borrow the beliefs of our leaders, right? Borrow the belief of Jesse, borrow the belief of Muzaffar, borrow the belief of JAON, borrow the belief of Maximo Lower, borrow the belief of Josh and Kia Valentine, borrow the belief, because sometimes you need to do that. And there's times that I've had to do it, unless if we're being real, right? So again, 5 great characteristics of a top influential leader: independence. You're not needy. You know that you can build a business without any help or external support. Are you resourceful? Are you great problem solvers? Are you consistent? That consistency is key. Having a baseline for your consistency, right? Great leaders show up consistently and they don't move from that baseline. Number 4, big vision and the ability to communicate that vision to not only build a strong team, right, but build a strong legacy to continue to impact people's lives, to set people free. Leaders create action and results. What actions and results are you creating on a daily basis? And the elements of expectation: believing for more, putting in the work, and fighting frustration. And here's what I'm going to leave you guys with, right? When it comes to this game of life, because it's not a dress rehearsal, it's a life. Are you sitting on the bench or are you in the game? When you sit on the bench, here's what happens when you sit on the bench. And if my sports fans, or if you've ever been at a sports game and you're sitting on the bench, you know exactly what I'm talking about. See, because when you're sitting on the bench, you're distracted by the crowd. And I'm the type of person that I'm in my own lane. And the bench warmers, they're not paying attention to the game. They're not in the game. They're distracted by the crowd. But the moment you step into the game, your entire posture shifts. You begin to lean forward. You begin to lean in. You take it personally because you want to win. You know why? Because you have skin in the game. And by dictionary definition, expectation is anticipation for something to be revealed. But that key to the expectation begins with managing that frustration between where you are and where you thought you would be, and where you are and where you're going. But the frustration doesn't go away, but can you manage it? Can you solve it? Can you fight through it? Can you see it differently? Can you utilize it to motivate you? Can it be a reminder that because you're frustrated, it's an indication that you're dreaming? It's an indication that you're believing. It's an indication that you are expecting greatness. And I'm going to tell you this: if you have something small, God can do something big. That is conclusion of our Breakfast Club call. Breakfast has been served. Thank you guys so much. Greatly appreciate you guys. Great day and God bless. Keep winning, guys. Appreciate y'all. Much love.